Welcome to the ponytail story. I love this hairstyle because it's relaxed, it's elegant, it's casual, and you can dress this up or dress it down. As you can see, I have been very mindful about the placement of the ponytail, and I'm going to now set the hair with a very relaxed bend so that I have some pretty texture. So while I'm doing that, I just want to talk to you about the intention and the mindfulness of studying a profile shape and making sure that the ponytail profile, you achieve the illusion of a straight profile. Now let's look at this photograph here. This lovely young lady, you can see that her jawline protrudes. And you can see in these three images from just doing a very scruffy ponytail how I've completely changed the balance of her face, where her neck looks thicker versus her neck looks slimmer and her jawline looks slimmer. But the most important thing of all, draping the hair across the forehead, lifting a tiny bit at the crown, and the position of the ponytail has created the illusion of a convex face becoming a straight profile. And yes, you're right, the straight profile will always be more beautiful. So having said that, you can see now that I have my ponytail lifting up high, which gives more accent to the jawline. And now I'm going to start this twisting effect, and it's a good old classic. I've done this for about 20 years. Gosh. And you can see in this push-pull effect, it ruches the hair and gives this lovely relaxation. So first of all, take a big section so it doesn't get too twiddly. Twist the hair around your finger. Push and pull. Now, as you push and pull, you have to be mindful that the hair doesn't get stuck or congested because it's got nowhere to go. So you have to open up the channel and allow for the hair to lay very nicely. The Japanese chignon pin is a hero for this because, first of all, it bends, which is great, and also it has serration to it, so it really holds. I prefer a Japanese pin to a bobby pin for this type of work. They're easier to hide as well. So you can see another twist. When you do the push and pull, make sure you keep a tiny piece of hair between your fingers, and that when you push and pull, you're holding just a few strands. And as you guide the hair along, be mindful of placement and make sure that you again are working into your mirror, that you're looking your shape from every single angle. And this is where the beauty of dress work comes in. You design as you go. You don't just work on a technique and then think of the design. Every action gives you a result, and the result should be working towards the picture you have in your mind. So here, again, you can see this is a very big section. Over directing the hair forwards, twisting, and you'll notice I've not been combing the hair because I actually want a little bit of rawness within the texture. And I'm twisting, and I'm push-pulling. So notice how few the strands are here between my left hand. Just a few strands left there. Can you see that? So now I've got to move the mannequin around. And with your client, you'll be slowly turning her around to make sure that the balance is right. And that was kind of ugly, wasn't it, really? Didn't work. So don't worry, don't panic. Just practice and do it again. So notice here, just a few strands I hold, I push pull. And then as I'm coaxing it along, I'm looking to see how the hair is responding. You see, the hair is kind of talking to me. It's telling me if it's happy or it's not. Notice my hand action. It's like a claw, isn't it? So that claw action allows me to control the hair right the way along the entire shaft. And you can see I can create this wonderful rippled effect. There's a piece of hair that's sort of like not performing very well. Can you see I'm just dampening it down with some water? Now, water can be your best friend in these hairstyles, as long as she doesn't have naturally frizzy or kinky hair and you just spent ages smoothing it out and now she's gone fuzzy on you. So water can hydrate a hairstyle and sometimes add just a little bit more performance. So be mindful of the natural texture before you do that. So here you can see I'm organizing the hair into what will be my next ponytail. So the beauty of this is that I have a ponytail, so I have security. This is my second layering of texture and dimension coming through here. Now, I love this technique. I hope I'm going to do it again. Did you see I just pulled the hair through from the inside, which gives me additional valleys and peaks. And this hairstyle is about this lovely tumbled valley and peak kind of vibe. Now, I said to you at the beginning, I'm going to take you on a journey. And just to give you a heads up, in a moment, I'm going to pull this whole thing apart. Because it started to look like a bridal hairstyle, which is fine if she's getting married. But what if she's just got divorced and the last thing on her mind is marriage and you're doing this bridal hairdo? It's not going to go down very well, is it? My goal is for a day look that's more relaxed, and I'm just getting so twiddly here that she definitely looks like she could walk down some aisle. So be mindful. The more decorative, the more ornate, the more it lends itself to red carpet, an evening look, bridal, because of the decorativeness. Now, if you have clients who love decorative looks, then fantastic. Now, another really important part of this is this pinning. Because the pinning is positioning the hair and it's giving you security, which is another very important thing. So you can see here, this is my last section. And you'd think, well, the hairstyle's almost done and we really haven't taken that much time at all to do this. Now, you can preset the entire head just with a loose curl. But actually, this particular look, if you don't set the hair, you're kind of okay. It will work. So now you can see we've got the shape established. The big decision now. Does this ponytail work? So I'm just kind of organizing the hair and putting my elastic band in. And as I mentioned earlier, it does look somewhat decorative. Now, depending on the profile of your client, this could work. There's nothing wrong with that. For me, it needs to be deconstructed a little bit more around the face. But I wanted to also take this moment to show you this technique in a more decorative way. I did this hairstyle a few years ago, and it's just a lovely classic. It was about the lady of the manor, so to speak, very dressed and embellished. And you can see I'm using that twisting method in these hairstyles. So that's just to inspire you for an alternative idea. That's the beauty of a technique. When you master a technique, you can adapt it to so many different hairstyles. I love pulling the hair from the inside and just disassembling. And here again, you can see as I'm disassembling the hairstyle, this gorgeous redhead, she is another version of the push-pull technique, this time taking hair that is very long and giving the illusion of a haircut. So it shows you the scope of this wonderful technique. So it's worth practicing and playing with it so that you can also have that fun and that creativity. So you can see here I'm taking my time twisting the hair around the ponytail, and it's a good go-to, isn't it, to be able to take this hair, thread it through the hairpin, and be able to pull it through, as you're going to see in a moment. Sometimes this is easy to do, and sometimes, oh gosh, it's so fiddly. It feels like you've got two left hands. Is today a fiddly day or not? That's the question. You can see I'm just sliding it through, and that went quite nicely, actually. And ironically, it went in nicely, but I'm going to be pulling the whole thing apart in a moment. This is great to do this. Can you see how I'm now creating more looseness all the way through? And that is the ponytail that I'm pulling apart. But what it does is it integrates the smoothness of the ponytail into the top texture. So that's a really good trick. Once you have done your twists, you can go inside and pull the hair apart to get that lovely rippled effect. Now, texture and the consistency of the texture. Sometimes inconsistency can work, and other times it can just look lumpy and bumpy. So Vivian's having a moment here, and I'm not impressed, and I'm certainly not impressed. and this was not the objective. So I'm so happy it didn't work, because I want to show you this. Because remember how I speak about the 3 wheels of fashion, how quiet or loud? Well, what if this client came in and said, I just want something very casual, and just like to do a nice soft ponytail, something I can't do at home. And you're thinking, right, I'm going to do it small and casual. It's going to be quiet and relaxed. It's going to have a softness. It's going to have a sensuality. And I go off and I raise the ponytail high and do some major construction that looks like, as I say, she's going to do a little skip down the aisle. Well, I've completely gone wrong. I lost the plot. I lost the story, because that's not who's sitting in my chair. And I've had this happen to me. I do something and I'm thinking, this is a masterpiece. It's fantastic. And the client goes, ooh, I don't like it. It's like, but it's technically brilliant, right? Well, who cares? If it's not who she is and it doesn't fit what she's wearing and it doesn't fit where she's going, a masterpiece doesn't mean anything. So the brief of working with those 3 wheels of fashion, how quiet or loud, and you can see now, dropping this down, I have a whole different sensibility, which it really gives a totally different look to this hairstyle. So, when we compare the high ponytail to this lower ponytail, we have to bear in mind it brings it more relaxed. Also, if she's got a short neck and a short jawline, this may not work, where the higher ponytail would have worked. And I think more than many, many hairstyles, the profile is so important. When someone's wearing a long layered haircut and their hair is covering their shoulders, covering their neck, covering a lot of their face, there's a lot that we don't see. But we're taking the hair away from the face, away from the neck, away from the shoulders, so we expose the good and the not so good, which is why we have to do such a strong evaluation of face shape and the 3 wheels of fashion. So now you can see I'm starting to deconstruct this even more, so that I really do create this lovely soft effect and get all these lovely textures going through. And look, I'm going to pull it apart even more. It's like, are you kidding me? No, I'm not. Sometimes I do this hairstyle literally in 5 minutes. And on this particular day, I don't know, it just didn't happen that way. I fiddled and I was like getting really mad with myself. I call those barrier thoughts, when you have a thought and then your frustration gets in the way and it blocks you from the creative flow. But anyway, you've got to be brave to sort of say to yourself, this doesn't work and this does work. You've got to practice on a mannequin head, which is obviously what I'm doing here. I'm practicing in front of you all. But I'm now going to pull a piece apart. There you go. It's like, I can't believe you just did that. These hair accessories, I'll say it again, these hair accessories drove me crazy. I thought they were so pretty. And when it came to securing the hair into these accessories, I realized, oh, Vivian, how are you going to get all of this hair into this thin hair accessory? It's not going to work. And you've really got to evaluate that, because you can do a beautiful hairstyle, put the accessory in, and the accessory can really disturb the whole look. And that's very, very important to know. Work into your mirror. Design into your mirror so that you're always aware of the total shape. Don't get lost in the detail. Very important. So when we review our images here and we look at the journey we went through, this is the time to study and discover, oh, this worked or that didn't work, and know why it did not work. So remember, when you design this, the consultation is king. And in dress work, you have so many options, because if it doesn't work, it's only a shampoo away from change. Remember, analyze the face shape. How are you going to make the face shape oval with a beautiful straight profile? The next thing, study your 3 wheels of fashion. Where does that client live within those wheels, so that you design that ponytail to fit where she lives? Use your mirror and practice, 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 and then you will be able to create your own magic. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.